priest of the Diocese of Boya take a day off this Wednesday to evaluate their works and also to take crucial decisions on the issues affecting them. This during their Association of Diocesan Priests meeting that held today in Modeka. And within the context of the rising odds of fake news and its type like misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, students practicing journalism at the Catholic University Institute of Boya have been trained on best practices to fight these odds. This one-day training took place at the campus to buttress the ideas on fact-checking. And the world over today is observed as the International Day Against Child Labor. This year's theme is Let's Act on Our Commitment and Child Labor. Tonight, we take a deeper look into this day. Hello there, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to join us in this midweek's edition of our Prime Time News. This is Divine Mercy Prime on DMR TV live from Boya in Cameroon with me, Jude Mbako Munyo. Those were the headlines. I'll be back with the full newscast. You're welcome back to our tonight's news. Now, we begin here in the Diocese of Boya, where about 40 priests of the Diocese of Boya have gathered for their 18th meeting of the Association of Diocesan Priests of the Diocese of Boya. The meeting today took place at St. Peter the Apostle Parish in Modeka, and the priests deliberated on issues concerning their well-being, their spirituality, and of course their ministry. Reverend Father Roderick Yancy was in that meeting earlier today. Let's have details in this report.
Over 40 priests of the Diocese of Boya rallied today at St. Peter's the Apostle Parish, Modeka, for their 18th ADP meeting of the diocese. This occasion commenced with Holy Mass in which Father Kestin Nyamjo preached. He exhorted his brother priests to make laws that will help to build love, friendship, and good relationships.
I was the preacher of the Mass today, and my take-home message was that priests, as they are leaders and leading the people of God wherever they are, they should make laws, because I was drawing my message from the gospel of the day, that they should make laws that will not kill love, friendship, and good relationship in the diocese, parishes, and communities and presbyteries wherever we find ourselves.
After the Mass, they had a meeting in which they discussed salient issues concerning their life, their well-being, their spirituality, and their ministry. They discussed on the love which should exist among them as brothers and how they should govern the Christian community.
Privilege to attend my first ADP meeting here in Modeka Parish, and I was really very happy to be with the priests and to know some of the priests and see how they express themselves, which is to help us live our priestly fraternity well. And being the main celebrant of the Mass, I was really very happy, and I thank God as I helped the priests to pray well. It was really a great day.
After the meeting, they had refreshments, which the Christian community of Modeka joyously prepared. The Christians were really happy to receive this multitude of priests in their parish.
It's a wonderful thing for us, the priests who are hosting them, and the Christians in general, who are here to prepare and to make sure that the priests have the best of their experience. And it is also a wonderful thing because the priests chose this parish and they are happy, and we feel very, very privileged to have all the priests come here first to celebrate with us, to pray with us, and to pray for us, the priests and Christians here, and to also commune with us.
It's a very good event. Whoever wants to get this kind of occasion, so we be happy. We know say the Spirit of God a real day for we from Modeka. We say more good things will still come for we.
We're so grateful for see them in our midst. So we don't prepare them so highly. We like to see them, we overlike to see them, and we don't see our place where they don't work with we for here, they don't go back. We pray, may God will continue to give them that grace. May God will continue for unite them as one, as they work for the kingdom. So we declare plenty. We pray, may God will give them the grace to serve God all the days of their lives.
The koinonia and brotherliness was greatly felt as the priests shared the joys and challenges of the ministry in their various parishes and encouraged each other. You could see their happiness and their relief on their faces as they departed back to continue their ministry in their parishes.
Reverend Father Roger Iansi with that report there of the ADP that took place in Mordecai. Thank you, Reverend Father. Now, we come back to talk about projects in the diocese, and we stop at the St. Therese of the Child Jesus Parish in Mekongi, here in the diocese, where the presbytery of that parish has been completed already, or the project is already at the roofing level, and the presbytery will be able to accommodate the priests who will be living there or who are living there already, so that the Christians can be able to have them at any time to grow in their spiritual needs physically as well. Let us meet Joseph Otop, who stopped at the presbytery there in St. Therese of the Child Jesus Parish, Mekongi. He came back with this report.
Just like every parish in various dioceses in the church, a presbytery is a prerequisite for every proclaimed parish to be fully erected. The presbytery accommodates priests serving in that parish to have a one-on-one contact with the Christians in times of need and help the Christian community grow spiritually and physically. St. Therese of the Child Jesus Parish, Mekongi, is not indifferent to this effort in becoming a full-fledged parish, as the Christians of this parish, with a concerted effort of their parish priest, Reverend Father Francis Cham, and His Lordship Michael Bibi, are taking the presbytery project to a new level. Beginning this structure in the year 2022, the Christians have dedicated their all in making sure this project in the nearest future will be suitable for its priest. Looking at this project, the parish priest highlights the work done so far.
And up to this time, we have been so lucky, thanks to our bishop and thanks to our Christians, that we have been able to raise up the building to the level of the roofing, and even to the roofing himself, and that we have been able to roof the house. What you see here has been the sweat of the Christians and the donation from the bishop, who came in at one point, seeing the way the Christians have been struggling here to raise up this presbytery. The bishop too felt very sorry for the way the Christians were really sacrificing, and he came in and he supported them with 100 bags of cement and then 10 trips of sand, and it was thanks to that we were able to reach where we are now.
After this roofing level, more still needs to be done.
What is left now is to do the plastering, the electrification, and then the tiling, the doors, the windows, plumbing. In fact, the completion itself. So we are pleading to Christians of goodwill. You see the way the house is, and if anybody who can take it as a challenge to take a window, to take a door, or to take one side of the house to do the plastering, or to even take the ceiling, or to do anything as a donation that will help us to complete this house, we shall be very, very grateful.
With the effort put in by the Christian community and their priests, it is safe to say that this presbytery in the months ahead will not only serve as a perfect place to stay for the residing priests, but for all priests in and out of the diocese. Now,
we'll take you back to the story where ex-students of Bishop Rogan College, that is Bureau Hall, in the United States of America have wrapped up their 2024 convention with a new team that has been elected to man the association there in the United States. The convention took place in Minnesota, USA, where His Lordship Michael Bibi, Bishop of Boya, was the guest of honor during a pontifical high mass that took place at St. Peter Parish there in Minnesota. His Lordship Michael Bibi beckoned on the ex-students of Bishop Rogan who are in the USA to live together as a family. Thanks to Reverend Father Wilson Gema, we're able to have these images for this report that is up next. Quite a busy time it has been for the Bishop of Boya, His Lordship Michael Bibi, in the United States. From the of the new Bishop of the Diocese of Charlotte, Bishop Michael flew into Minnesota for the first time to meet former students of Bishop Rogan Minor Seminary Bureau Corps Ex-Students Association, USA. They had invited the prelate to give their event the most spiritual honor from their home bishop. In Minnesota, Bishop Michael met the schoolboys who have become men with different realities, yet with the love and nostalgia of their alma mater. The bishop appreciated them for sticking together all the way, and that's why during the closing mass at St. Peter Parish in Minnesota, the prelate emphasized the need for them to continue reincarnating the spirit of the minor seminary.
For life. And I think that is what we experience in any group that has ex-students who, because of the sharing they had while they were in the seminary or in the different colleges, there's always that desire for bonding, for coming back, for being back together, for sharing those common experiences that they had that will help to foster that friendship, that relationship that they have among themselves. And of course, I heard yesterday, your dream has always been to make sure that everybody is on board. And you should not relent in that effort to see to it that we continue to invite your brothers who are not yet active in the association so that they too can come on board, and together we can continue to be true witnesses of the gospel message by our words.
Bishop Michael thanked the ex-students for the support they give to the priests and workers of the church sent to the USA, who also were conspicuously present at the convention.
And I want to say that when the priests they come out here too, they have to strive get things going. And sometimes it's not very easy. You know better than I do. And that if you have to help any of them from any of the dioceses that happen to be around, please do not hesitate to assist them. And of course, I'm happy to have been part of this meeting today, and looking forward to be with you for the rest of the activities till the convention comes to an end. Thank you very much.
The 2024 Bureau Corps Ex-Students Association Convention in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, also saw the election of a new team to lead the association, and headed by the president, Richard Lokumbe. He used the opportunity to introduce this new team.
You have made your choice, and if you heard me clearly, I talked about responsibility, accountability, and transparency. This right here is part of responsibility, and then they will show you accountability. We nominated people and they declined because they want to take a break. And these fine gentlemen standing over here have taken that responsibility and they are willing to serve you. So please, put your hands together for my new.
Why the ex-students of Bureau in the United States put things in order for a successful association in that area, back home, the entire community of Ball is gearing up to a celebration of its Diamond Jubilee this November 2000. We indeed apologize for the quality of that report or those images there. And just to highlight here that the Bureau Call, Bishop Rugan College, will be celebrating its anniversary, 60 years of existence in November this year. Now, we'll take you over to something else. The Catholic University Institute of Boya today organized a seminar to educate the School of Journalism or students of the School of Journalism and Communication on ideas of fact-checking practice in journalism. This within the context of rising misinformation, disinformation, and other forms of fake news that have bedeviled newsrooms and the media across the world. They were told that it is sacrosanct to check their facts before going on air or publishing reports. Let us have Jamlatu Tontan, who was at the campus of CUIB today. She came back with this report.
The Catholic University Institute of Boya's School of Journalism and Communication this day organized a seminar on fact-checking with the aim of training her students on the importance of fact-checking in the practice of journalism. The events that took place at the Catholic University Institute of Boya's school premise had a seasoned journalist in the person of Batata Boris Kaluf, who came in as the main trainer of the day alongside other experienced teachers in the field of journalism.
Today I was facilitating on AI and fact-checking tools. Now this is very important for today's journalists, particularly journalism students who are aiming to become professionals, because the world today has a lot of fake news, misinformation, disinformation. So with the knowledge of fact-checking, it will help these journalists who are coming up to decipher what is accurate.
The facilitator, Boris Kaluf, taught on the importance of identifying sources and equally on claims and information with the use of internet tools and authorities before dissemination, as it helps in boosting credibility of information.
It's been a very amazing session. I felt like not leaving because everybody was engaged. It was practical, hands-on, with their phones checking and seeing that with just their smartphones they can do a lot in terms of fact-checking. And if we all put our hands together, the trainers as well as the trainees, I think we can get rid of this misinformation that is spreading and eating our society.
According to the Dean of Studies of the School of Journalism and Communication, Brother Singfred Senior Sene Tata, the practice of journalism has long left the analog way to the digital way of practice, and so journalists in training ought to be prepared so they are able to easily catch up with the required standard as they set out to the practice of journalism tomorrow.
It is very, very vital and important as part of our mission to train journalists who resonate to modern day challenges. I was trained as a journalist in the analog age, and I want to give my students what I did not even have. We're ready to give them because we're training trainers. We know that there's already work waiting for them. We have the Divine Mercy Radio and Television of Diocese of Boya, so we're looking forward to have men and women so that when they come out there, they will see that what we give here, you cannot have it anyway.
Information, they say, is power, and the seminar on fact-checking organized by the School of Journalism and Communication at the Catholic University was that arena that empowered the students as the event closed, leaving them greatly satisfied and well fed with the fact-checking techniques and tools shared in the course of the seminar.
Just through fact-checking that the media can be able to beat the odds of fake news that is in total rise in today's media space. Now we come back to talk about the World Day for Child Labor today, June 12, 2024, that the International Labour Organization intends to foster worldwide movement against all form of child labor. This year's theme focuses on, or is captioned, "Let's act on our commitment and child labor," which also presents a vital opportunity to raise awareness, advocacy for change, and contribute towards the future free for children in terms of child labor. To get more on this, Nadesh May took interest in this day of the child labor and did this report for us.
Millions of children in Cameroon and the world work to help their families in ways that do not harm them or interfere with their education, but millions are exploited and abused, a phenomenon which is particularly common in Cameroon, where children roam the streets and scour landfill streets looking for scraps of iron, exposed to a variety of dangers, some no shoes, and sustain wounds that are never treated. In this light, UNICEF estimated that there are 150 million children under the age of 14 years that walk around the world, many as young as 5, and of them, the vulnerables are those who work in other people's homes. This year's theme focuses on "Let's act on our commitment and child labor," a day that presents an important opportunity to raise awareness, advocate for change, and contribute towards a future free from child labor.
Child abuse! Please stop! Child abuse! Child abuse is approximately recorded in 6 seconds worldwide.
About 3 million cases of child abuse are recorded every year. 1 out of 4 adults were abused during childhood. 1 out of 3 girls and 1 out of 5 boys will be abused before they reach 18 years.
90% of child sexual abuse victims know the perpetrators in some way, and 68% of these perpetrators are family members.
Parents are aware of the dangers of the activities carried out by their children, but in the context of extreme poverty, they encourage them to do it nonetheless. Therefore, the right of child domestic workers took a dramatic step forward in 2011 with the adoption of International Labour Organization Convention 189. Child labor not only deprived millions of their rights and education, it reinforced the cycle of poverty and hardened a country's development. According to the United Nations, about 152 million children between 5 and 17 years old are engaged in child labor. 73 million of them are in Africa. The United Nations has therefore made a call to end child labor worldwide by 2025. It is an ambitious goal for the continent with the highest rate of child labor in the world.
Our fathers, mothers and guardians, we need you to love us, to care for us, to teach us, to guide us, to protect us, and to provide for us.
That emotional, dramatic report there by May Nadesh to tell us that it is important to fight against child labor, which is very visible around the communities today. Now, let us talk sport in this news edition. Mark Brace and his team have settled for a draw at the Estadio 11 November in Luanda, Angola, against the national team of that country. And fans of the Indomitable Lions in the city of Buea were equally glued to their TV set about this time last night in high expectation that their team was going to have a victory. Unfortunately, it was a draw. The game put the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon still at the top with 8 points. John Philip Wangla of our newsroom takes us back to the match of yesterday with the high moments. His report.
The indomitable Lions of Cameroon have played a 1-1 tie with the Panacras Negras of Angola later Tuesday 11th of June 2024 at the Estadio de 11 Novembre. Cameroon football lovers around the city of Buea were glued to their screens in some leisure spots, following with keen interest to the tactical choice of the team coach Mark Breeze. The main change observed in the lineup was the introduction of Basagok, who started in the place of Mumin Gamelo as he created an impact early in the 10th minute of play as he delivered a cross close to the 6-meter box that was missed by Vincent Abubakar and turned in by Brian Mbeumo. The indomitable Lions kept pushing and pressing deep into the Angolan camp as several goal chances were lost from some excellent effective passes at the 16th minute, leading to a close miss by Mbeumo again at the 18-meter box. It was not until the 19th minute of play that Basagok was carried out of the field on a stretcher that seemed to have distorted the game, as a change introducing Olivier Ncham was not seen as the best option then. Early at the 32nd minute, an excellent move from Manuel Benson of the Angolan camp in collaboration with Gelson Dalla led to a strike to the waiting hands of Andre Onana as he imposed his presence at the goal post. At the 53rd minute, an excellent footwork from the Angolan Gelson Dalla earned him a goal from the left flank as he penetrated with a low cross that was deflected by Ngade and an own goal conceded by the indomitable Lions. Fans, notwithstanding, from their points of views, expressed their expectations and satisfaction with the players and the tactics.
Today you realize that our finishings were very poor. Around the goal post were not that technical. Our finishings were not the best.
The match today was good. It was quite good. I want to say Cameroon is on track. I want to say to Cameroonians that people should sit up because it's our time to dance.
The Lions maintained their lead in Group D with 8 points, while Libya and Cape Verde follow with 7 points, and Angola fourth with 6 points ahead of Mauritius with 4 points and Swaziland with no point.
Thank you, John Philip Wanla, for taking us through that match again of yesterday that was played in Luanda, Angola. Now, we also know that South Africa hosted its first ever World Cup qualifier match that was yesterday in Juba in the presence of FIFA President Gianni Infantino. We are equally going to take you this time around to the drilling that has begun in Senegal's first ever offshore oil project, which is aimed at producing about 100,000 barrels of oil, that is every day. These stories constitute a package for our foreign news tonight with Matilda Bisson.
Production has started at Senegal's first offshore oil project, the Australian group Woodside Energy said Tuesday, as the country's new government eyes higher profits from natural resources. The vessel extracting the oil is moored about 100 kilometers offshore at the Sangoma oil fields. The project aims to produce 100,000 barrels of oil per day, according to a statement made by Meg O'Neill, chief executive of Woodside Energy. The discovery of oil and gas off the coast of Senegal in 2014 raised hopes that the industry could generate billions of dollars in revenue for the developing country and transform its economy. But the new government, which came to power earlier this year, pledged to review oil and gas contracts with foreign companies, which it described as unfavorable to Senegal. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye said in his first address to the nation in April that the exploitation of the natural resources, which according to the constitution belong to the people, will receive particular attention from his government. At a rally in Dakar on Sunday, Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko reaffirmed his administration's commitment to reviewing the contracts and promised that the country's share will be guaranteed. South Africa's third biggest political party, led by former President Jacob Zuma, has filed legal papers seeking to hold the first sitting of Parliament scheduled for Friday, June 14, to elect the country's president. Zuma's party says none of its 58 newly elected lawmakers will attend the sitting. The party earlier filed objections with the Independent Electoral Commission alleging widespread irregularities in national elections last month. The party received just over 14% of the vote. The party, also known as MK, has not publicly offered evidence to back up its allegations, but the commission has said it has addressed all objections. The president of the world's governing football body, Gianni Infantino, arrived in Juba, South Sudan on Tuesday for the inauguration of Juba National Stadium. The 54-year-old was joined by the country's President Salva Kiir Mayardit and FA President Agostino Barek to mark the occasion after FIFA invested nearly $7 million to support the work in the capital. Infantino attended South Sudan's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match at the stadium, the first time a FIFA World Cup qualifier has been held in the country.
Today, with the stadium, we are giving a message of hope to all the people of South Sudan.
President Salva Kiir said it was an important event in the history of South Sudan.
I join you today in celebrating the opening of our first modern sport facility, the Juba National Stadium.
South Sudan is battling with a humanitarian situation that remains dire due to ongoing fighting and shortages of food, water and fuel, limited communications and electricity, and very high prices of essential items.
Eileen Sama wrapping up this edition of Primetime Newscast with that report there in South Sudan in Juba World Cup qualifier match. Now, before we go, let's take on again top stories for this newscast. You heard that priest of the Diocese of Boya take off today, Wednesday, to re-evaluate their works and also take crucial decisions on issues affecting them. This was during the Association of Diocesan Priests, that's the ADP meeting held today in Mordeka. That is the Peter the Apostle Parish in Mordeka. Now, within the context of the rising odds of fake news and its types like disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation, students practicing journalism at the Catholic University Institute of Boya have been trained on best practices to fight these odds in the media. They had a one-day training today at the campus to buttress their abilities on fact-checking, especially with the artificial intelligence. And well over today, it's observed as the International Day Against Child Labor. This year's theme, let's act on our commitment to end child labor. And in this edition of the news, we had a deeper look into what this day means. That's it for this edition of our newscast. I want to thank you very much for your viewing attention and hoping that we'll be there again tomorrow for another edition at 7 p.m. We'll bring to you another edition of our Primetime News. I've been Baku Munyo. Up next is Mountain Echoes. Good night.